Ever have the feeling you're about to get some powerful disagreement in the room? Well, you may not agree with my list of underrated backyard Australian birds, but give me the chance to explain why. I'm about to share with you 5 species, well, 4 species and a genus that I think that we really underestimate in our gardens and that can bring you untold joy as well as do fantastic things for your backyard. So, before we get into it, just let me remind you that if you like what we're doing here and you'd like to support the channel, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, interact any way you can. It's all appreciated and it all helps this video get further out there and share the joys of the Wood Wide Web. Now, underrated Australian backyard birds. Let's get into it. Underrated bird number 1 is largely unnoticed by gardeners, but a welcome sight to sailors undertaking long voyages. Yes, that was a pun. Bird number 1 is the welcome swallow, and besides their value to sailors, they have another very significant benefit for backyards. More on that in a minute. Welcome swallows are found in all Australian states and territories, but eastern populations do tend to fly north in the winter and south in the summer. They are found in most habitats except the dry inland regions and in heavily forested areas. So why do sailors value them so highly? These birds often forage out to sea, but never too far from land. So seeing them meant that land was nearby, or land ahoy, if you like. They are also part of a tattoo tradition along with their cousins around the world. Sailors used to get a tattoo to mark the achievement of travelling 5,000 nautical miles and returning home safely. It was considered a mark of honour and a good luck charm. The Noongar people in Western Australia believe that welcome swallows flying low over the ground indicate approaching rain. Wish I could see that at the moment because we are very dry at this time of year. They nest in an open cup of mud and grasses on a vertical surface such as a rock wall or, these days, in buildings. Both parents care for the young. So what was that benefit to our backyards that I was talking about? These stunning insectivores consume up to 850 flies and mosquitoes per day. That's a lot of pest control and means that a single pair can consume up to 1,700 flies and mosquitoes in your garden every single day. Keep an eye out for them, but you'll have to be watching carefully because these guys fly fast. Underrated bird number 2 is not a magpie. It's often mistaken for the infamous Australian magpie, but its call is nowhere near as musical. Yes, it's the magpie lark, or pewee. The distinctive call of this bird is heard throughout Australia in most habitats, with the exception of rainforests and the drier desert regions. They are well adapted to urban areas and are often seen in cities. Peewees sound like this. This call is usually followed by a response from the mate. But if not, the birds sometimes respond to their own call to make it appear as if 2 birds are present. The male and female raise chicks together and they aggressively defend their mud nests and their territories, which are up to 10 hectares. Distinctive calls and their comical behaviour make this bird a pleasure to observe in gardens, especially if you have a bird bath. The other aspect of the pewee that is often overlooked and underrated is its capacity to control pest insects at ground level. They will eagerly munch on grasshoppers and leaf beetles as they forage. Another benefit is their ability to disperse seeds over a wide area, potentially helping maintain biodiversity in urban landscapes. In other words, they are essential to the functioning of the Wood Wide Web. If you're lucky enough to see underrated bird number 3 regularly, then you probably don't underrate them. This tiny bird is full to bursting with personality and seems to prefer human homes for nesting. It's the gorgeous Sahul sunbird. Previously known as the olive-backed sunbird, the Sahul sunbird has recently been reclassified. Their distribution in Australia is limited to the Queensland coast from the Torres Strait to Bundaberg. Northern residents in Australia know all about the nests, which spontaneously appear during spring and summer. They are Australia's only sunbird species, and they begin a nesting season in spring, which can involve raising several broods. Many residents have stories of birds shrieking and tapping windows when predators approach, asking humans to appear to chase them away. Being so small, their predators are many, but they are wonderful parents who dedicate themselves to rearing their young. If you'd like to know more about their nesting habits, we have a video showing the building of a nest as well as the feeding and fledging of these gorgeous little creatures. I'll link it at the end of this video. Apart from their charming antics and personalities, Sahul sunbirds have lots to offer. They are wonderful pollinators that hover like hummingbirds when feeding in the rainforest canopy. They also eat small fruits, but perhaps their greatest assistance to the backyard gardener is their ability to control spider populations, especially when nesting. We rarely have spiders or webs around our house, thanks to the regular patrols. And I don't just mean the small ones. Sahul sunbirds seem to have no fear of large spiders and simply pluck them from webs and feed them to their young. Indeed, I've observed them struggling to feed the spiders to their young because they've picked spiders that are too big. Brave, charming, and full of personality, Sahul sunbirds are an amazing backyard bird. Our next underrated backyard bird is another coastal species, but this one extends its range from Cape York all the way around the coast to the Mount Lofty Ranges in South Australia. The red-browed finch is an absolute delight in the garden and a reason to delay mowing your lawn. These tiny birds favour grassy areas or creek lines interspersed with dense understory vegetation that they need for protection. They are a food source for many predators, but also an indicator of healthy habitat. If you're not seeing them, then your backyard doesn't have the elements to support them. Both parents tend the young in a nest made from twigs and grasses and hidden in dense grasses or foliage. They are voracious seed eaters, which makes them essential for dispersing seeds as a part of plant community development in both rural and urban environments. They also eat their share of ground-based insects, aiding in natural pest control. I remember when I was young watching seeding grasses covered in these gorgeous birds as they chattered and foraged. Now I enjoy them most when they visit the water in my garden. They particularly seem to enjoy a fountain. And here we are, the most underrated backyard bird on my list. It's actually not a single species, but a whole group of birds who belong to the same genus. As a group, they can be found in every Australian state and territory, except Tasmania. In some places, they are abhorred due to their noisy chatter, but they have significant value for Australian ecosystems and backyard gardeners. Without further ado, I'm talking about the friarbirds, or leatherheads. Their curious features really make you believe in a link between birds and dinosaurs. They form long-term pairs and build their nests in tree forks. The deep cup is made from grass and bark before being bound with spiderwebs. Both birds defend the nest and feed the young, but only the female incubates the eggs. A valuable contribution from these birds is their ability to protect other smaller species. Friarbirds are known to aggressively protect their nests, and some little birds, like fantails and flycatchers, take advantage of this by nesting close to them. It's almost like they become accidental bodyguards for other birds. The significant value of friarbirds comes from their ability to maintain habitat connectivity. They are awesome pollinators. And because they're bigger than a lot of other bird pollinators, they can travel further. In this way, they ensure that pollen travels between different plant communities. This, of course, means better genetic diversity for the plants that they visit. So from being accidental bodyguards to accidental gardeners, these birds have more value than you would think from a simple observation of their chattering and ridiculous antics in your yard. So what do you think? Did I hit the mark? Or am I so far away from the mark it's ridiculous? Get down in those comments and let me know if you agree or disagree with the birds that I think are underrated. Did I miss some? let me know. Alright, thanks so much for watching. Remember, any interaction with this video is greatly appreciated and shows support for the channel. That could be liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, whatever you like. Wishing you birdsong and joy until we get into it again.